All right, class, this is our study guide um, for unit or cluster number 6. Okay. The first problem says, what is the solution to the equation? And we got um, x to the third power. And on the top, let's see here, we got 8 and then we got 27. So this is how you do that. We're going to do it out to the side. Or actually, I'm going to put it on a separate sheet of paper. So that way we can just submit the separate sheet of paper. Okay. All right. So for number 1, on the top, and put study guide. And for number 1, we have x to the third is equal to 8 over 27. Okay. So in order to solve this problem, to get rid of the x to the third power, the inverse of cubing a number is cube root. So we're going to find the cube root. Remember, this is this symbol with the little 3 in the corner. That's part of the symbol. And we're going to do that to both sides, cube root. When you find the cube root of x to the third power, that's the same as saying what number can be multiplied times itself 3 times to give you x to the third. And of course, it's x. X can be multiplied times itself 2 other times, a total of 3, to give you x to the third. Here you're going to do this. You're going to break this up. You're going to do the cube root of the top and you're going to do the cube root of the bottom. Okay? And you're going to think, what one number can be multiplied to give me 8? And 2 can. Do that out to the side. We got 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And 4 times 2 is 8. So here, the answer is 2 on top. That's your numerator. On the bottom, what number can be multiplied times itself 3 times to give you 27? And that's 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So the one number that can be multiplied times itself 3 times to give you 27 is 3. So this is my answer. X is going to be equal to, and it could be, it's going to be a positive 2 over 3, sorry. So my answer here is going to be 2 over 3. So here we go. 2 over 3, D. Do you see it? Okay. All right, let's do the next one. This one says, what is the value of x? So we got to get x by itself here, and this is squared. So we're doing number 2. We got x squared is equal to, and we got 1, 2 zeros, 64. Okay. So again, the opposite of squaring a number, not cubing, but squaring, is square root. The square root symbol looks just like this, no number here. This is square root. This is saying what number can be multiplied times itself to give you x squared, and x can be multiplied times itself to give you x squared. X times x is x squared. Bring down the equal. Now you're going to find the square root of this. The square root of this is going to be 64 is going to be 8. Okay. And look, if you're not sure, give me 1 second. I'm going to show you how to type that in the calculator. All right. So type this in. Your square root button, I'm going to clear my calculator second. Second plus 7, 1, 2. And I press the second button and I press the x squared button. Okay. And that gives me square root. And I type in decimal 0064 and see what that gives me. See? So we got 0.08. All right. And that's going to be our answer there. Okay. So 0.08 is this answer right here. Okay. And when you multiply 0.08 times itself, you're going to get this. All right. Let's look at the next one. It's a little out of order, but that one's numbered number 10. And let me box this stuff in. All right. So we got Brian has two cubes. The first cube has a volume of 125 centimeters to the third power, and the second cube has 343 centimeters to the third power. What is the difference? That means you're going to subtract. What is the difference in the area of one of the faces than the area of the second cube? Okay, so they give you the volume. In order to find the area, when you are talking about a cube, it's three-dimensional, right? But all of the faces are squares. So you need to know what each of these side lengths are so that you can find the area, which is A is equal to S to the second power. Okay, write that there. All right, so let's find the side lengths first so that we can find the area of one of the faces. Okay, because that's what it's asking for. It's giving you volume, but you need area. In order to find area, you need to know what S is. Okay. So we're going to use the formula for volume of a cube. Volume of a cube is V is equal to S to the third power. They give you the volume of the first cube, which is 125. So we're going to substitute 125 in the place of V. This is S to the third. Okay. So now in order to find S, what one of the side lengths are of the first cube, draw the first cube. We got to get S by itself. And remember, the only way to get S by itself is to get rid of this 3. The opposite of cubing a number is cube root. So this is the symbol for cube root. Okay? A little 3 in the corner. So we're going to find what number can be multiplied times itself to give you 125. 5. 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. Okay? So this is going to be 5. And what can be multiplied times itself to give you S to the third power? S can. So each side is 5 in length, okay? So each one of these sides are 5. So if I want to find the area of one of the faces, I use the formula for area of a square because all I want to do is find the area of one of the faces. So I'm going to substitute 5 in the place of S. So it's 5 squared. That's 5 times 5. And 5 times 5 is 25. So the area of one of the faces is 25. That's for the first cube. Now let's do the second cube, okay? They gave us the volume for the second cube. The volume of the second cube, V is equal to S to the third power. They give you the volume. Substitute that volume in for V. So that volume is 343. So we got 343. Okay. All right. So now in order to get S by itself, you got to get rid of the third power, right? The opposite of cubing a number is cube root. So we're going to find the cube root on both sides. So we have to think what number can multiply times itself to give you 343. Think about it, y'all. So we got 5 is 125. Then let's do 6. What's 6? 6 times 6 times 6. What's this, y'all? That's 36, right? And then what's the 6? 6 times 6 is 36, right? This is not going to give it to us. We got 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay? So now let's do 7. 7 times 7 times 7. Because you might not have the calculator with this. So this is 49, right? So we're going to do times 7. This is 63. And then we got 7. That's 28. And you got to count 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. You see it? That's how you do it. Use your fingers and your toes, okay? Showing you how you should do it if you don't know it by heart. So now we got 7. So the cube root of 343 is 7. All right. So here, what can be multiplied times uh, itself 3 times to give you S to the third power? S can. So each side of this cube, the second cube, is going to be 7. Okay, Miss Reyes, then what's the area of one of the faces? The formula for area is A is equal to S to the second power. So you're going to do 7 squared. That's 7 squared is the same as saying 7 times 7. 7 times 7 is 49. So this is the area of the second one of the faces of the second cube. So what's the difference between the two? So you subtract. You have 25, well, 49 minus 25. Put that one on top, right? All right, so this gives you 4 here, and this gives you 2 here. So your answer is 24. That's the difference. So you look for 24 centimeters squared, and it's right here. Do you see that? Okay. All right, number 3. Box this in. I'm going to use all my space, so I'm going to put number 3 up here. Okay. It says choose the irrational number. All right, which one of these is irrational? Okay, let me slide this over. So this is a perfect square because the square root of 16 is a whole number, which is 4. Remember, 4 times 4 is 16. So that's a perfect square. This is rational. Okay? This number is a decimal and it stops. This is rational. You don't see the dots at the end. That's rational. The square root of 20 end up being a decimal. It's not a perfect square, so this is irrational. It's a non-perfect root. And a fraction, if it's a fraction, it's rational, okay? Fractions are rational. So the one that's irrational is B. So on my paper, I'm going to put B, okay? Let's go to number 4. Which set contains only integers? So we want only integers here. So 7 is an integer, 10 is an integer, and we got a negative. This is a negative 14.3. This is a decimal. Decimals are not integers. Okay, so these are not integers. All right, the square root of 9 is 3. The square root of 16 is 4. The square root of 26 is a non-perfect square root. The square root of 25 will be perfect, but the square root of 26 is non-perfect square root, so it will be a decimal answer. This is not an integer. Okay, so we got 14, 21, and a negative 136. These are all integers, okay? We got a fraction. A fraction is not an integer, okay? So our answer here is C. So on our paper, number 4 is C. All right. Let's look at number 5. Which number below is an irrational number? This is cube root of 8. What number can be multiplied times itself 3 times, because cube root, to give me 8? And that answer is 2, y'all. 2 is a whole number. This is a perfect cube root. So this is going to be rational because it's perfect. It works out to be an integer. The square root of 49 is 7. That's a whole number. So it's also rational. Okay? The cube root of 125 is going to be 5. Remember, 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. So this works out to be perfect. This cube root is perfect, so it is rational. Okay? The square root of 52, this is a non-perfect root, so this is the one that's going to be irrational. Okay? So D is our answer. Number 5 is D. Okay? Number 8. A cube has a volume, this is the volume right here, of 343. What is the area of one of the faces? We just did a problem like this, y'all remember? Volume of a cube is S to the third power. They give you the number for volume. So put that here, 343. We just did this. We're going to find the cube root on both sides. Okay, so we got, this one's number what? 8. So we got V is equal to S to the third power, and we got 343. Okay, we're going to find the cube root on both sides. We just did a problem like this, right? One number can be multiplied times itself 3 times to give you 343. And remember, we found that to be 7. So each side is 7. Okay, each side of a cube is going to be 7. Okay, all the way around. All the edges are 7. It's asking for the area of one of the faces. Remember, the formula, a face on a cube is a square. So it's asking for the area of a square. That's A is equal to S to the second. Well, what did we say each side was? We said each side was 7. So to find the area, we're going to say 7 to the second power. So 7 to the second power is going to be 7 times 7, which is 49. Okay, so our answer is 49D, 49 centimeters squared. All right. Okay, let's do number 9. All right, number 9. A square has an area of 225. Okay, so that's the area of a square. So we're going to write the formula for area of a square. This is number 9. The formula for area is A is equal to S squared. Okay, we're going to plug this in for A because they gave us the area. This is 225. Okay. They want to know what's the perimeter of the square. Remember, perimeter is the distance around the square. So we need to figure out what each of these sides are. So to find out what each of these sides are, we got to figure out what S is. That's each of the sides. So remember, what's the opposite of squaring a number? It's square root. So we're going to find the square root on each side. What's the square root of 225? What number can be multiplied times itself to give me 225? 15. 15 times 15 is 225. What can be multiplied times itself to give us S squared? S times S. So the square root of S squared is just the S. So each one of these sides is 15. Okay, so they're asking for perimeter. Perimeter means you're going to add all these sides together. You're going to say 15 plus 15 plus 15 plus 15. And remember, 15 plus 15 is 30. Okay, plus 15 plus 15 again is 30. And 30 plus 30 is 60. So the perimeter is going to be 60. So here is 60 feet, which is C. So we're going to put C as our answer here and box this in. All right, this one is labeled as number 10. Use the number line to answer the question. It says, which number best approximates the value of x? Okay, so let's look. It's between, look, 6 and 7. Do you see how it's between 6 and 7? Then this must be 6.5. So it's beyond the 6.5 point. It's closer to 7 than it is 6. So let's figure out what that is. What perfect squares is the square root of 6 in between? And this is how you have to think about this. These are all perfect squares. So then list your perfect squares. We got 1 times 1 is 1. So the square root of 1 is equal to 1. We got 2 times 2 is 4. So the square root of 4 is equal to 2. We got 3 times 3. We're making the perfect squares like we did before. It's 9. So the square root of 9 is 3. So look at this. Look, y'all. Okay. We know already, you see the square root of 6 is between the 4 and the 5, which is between 2 and 3. 2 and 3 is not even on here. So mark this out. Okay. And it's close, 7 is close to 9. So that's not even, it's not between 3 and 2 is not even on here. So mark this out. Do you see how 7 is between these two right here? And 2 and 3 is not even on the number line. So let's keep going. We got 4 times 4, which is equal to, let's slide this over. 4 times 4 is equal to 16. So the square root of 16 is equal to 4. 5 times 5 is 25. That's why you need to know these by heart, right? The square root of 25 is 5. 6 times 6 is 36. So the square root of 36 is 6. 7 times 7 is 49. So the square root of 49 is equal to 7. Okay? All right, make sure you write these down. Okay, so now look. Look at this, y'all. So we have 46. The square root of 46 is, look, it's between these two numbers right here. So look, 52 is not even between 6 and 7 at all. So the only answer it can be is 46, because 46 is between these two, which is between the whole numbers 6 and 7. So our answer here is going to be C. All right. And it is 46 is closer to the 49 than it is to 36. So this is your possible answer here. And you did all of that without using the calculator. All right. Okay, guys, please rewatch parts of the video. If you need some additional help, please make sure that you ask me for help. All right. Bye. Have a good day.